If you'll bear with some of the intro. You know, I like to wander, so I've got to stay here close to the microphone for Jesse to pick me up, so I'll try to remember that. But this is kind of designed to give you guys an update on advising and Target X, and I'll get to Target X here in just a little bit, but let's kind of get through, I guess, maybe some of the boring stuff first about advising. So back in October of 2020, success coaching and advising were merged. So the success coaches and the advisors, we all came together. We formed a new area called the Center for Student Success, kind of rebranded the Advising Center to where now success coaches and advisors are now referred to as success advisors. And so we're all doing the same thing. We all kind of have a caseload of students that we're working with. Rather than kind of having those two services in different areas on campus, we've kind of moved them to one place and one location, hopefully to, excuse me, hopefully to better serve our students. Some things that we're doing differently though with that, not only just the merge, although that was pretty monumental in itself, some other things that we're trying to do differently as far as how we do our advising processes. And so, you know, it used to be for years and years, and it worked okay. For years and years, it was kind of a come and get it if you need it type approach to advising, right? You come to see us when you need us, that kind of thing. We're trying to change that a little bit to get a little bit more interaction and involvement with our students. And so we're trying to adopt, and it's certainly not in its final form, but we're trying to adopt more of a case management approach to advising, where each success advisor is assigned a case of students, right? So Jennifer in her area, when the student does their application for admission, they are assigned a success advisor based on their last name. So that's kind of how we differentiate in our area. So if somebody does come in to see a success advisor, we can assign them to the correct person based on their last name. And so we've tried to do some things differently. We wanted to do it by last name rather than by major, so that if a student did have to change their major, they're not having to go to somebody else and tell their story over again and get to know somebody else and somebody new. And that might have been a little bit easier, so that, you know, people could kind of focus on a couple of different areas, but we tried to make it to where students would have the same person from start to finish, which is kind of our tagline and our motto. Obviously, we're still doing the things that you think of when you think of advising, right? I mean, we still got to make sure that students are taking the correct classes, that they're on track to graduating, that they're still transferring, all the things that are kind of stereotypical to advisement. We're still doing that, but we're also trying to do a little bit more in relation to the kind of the holistic student experience, right? So basically, anytime a student has an obstacle of any kind, and we all know that they do, right? Anything that's kind of standing in their way of reaching their educational goals, we're here to help them work through that, right? To mitigate those obstacles. Certainly, we can't solve the problem, right? I mean, there's just some things that we can't solve. However, we can provide support and resources and networks for them to try to work through their situations, and obviously Suzanne's area and Lisa Smith's area and all these different resources that we have on campus. We work well with them and try to get them to gain success. Really, the only way out of that, I mean, I mentioned we can't fix the problem, and we can't. In a way, the only way to fix that problem is to kind of educate them out of it, right? To hopefully improve their situation and break some of the chains that a lot of our students seem to be kind of stuck in. So we are trying to do some more outreach. We've implemented what's called Signalvine. That's a texting platform. We've started using that. I don't know if any of your students have told you, hey, I got a text from my advisor or whomever it may be. So we are sending out scheduled texts. Like I think we got one to go out either tomorrow or Thursday, just kind of a happy Thanksgiving. We're thankful for you. Thank you for choosing Wallace State, that type of thing. We sent one out about the FAFSA being open in October. Sent one out about the withdrawal date. We sent one out about it's time to, you know, schedule your classes, time to register with your advisor, trying to meet with your advisor, things like that. But then mainly they can text us back, and it's a local number. It's a 256 number. It's not one of these weird 6-digit numbers that sometimes we get. It's not an area code that they're unfamiliar with. It's a local number that comes straight to us. And for us on our end, we just kind of log into a website, and it's really almost like checking a second email inbox, truthfully, which can add more to our workload certainly. But at the sense, we're communicating with them, right there in their pocket. And so we find benefit to that. So we are trying to work on building relationships a little bit clearer and better with our students. One thing that we're trying to do in DegreeWorks is make sure that students know of the stackable credentials that are offered to them. So, it used to be in DegreeWorks, if someone was interested in Jason's horticulture, they'd pull it up and it would just be the classes for the AAS or for the certificate or whatever it may be. But now what we're trying to do is still show them that, But underneath that, we're building in the short certificates where they can say, hey, what's one of your short certs? Horticulture Tech, is that a short cert of yours? So like if you're looking at Jason's program, you can say that, here's the 4 or 5 classes I need for the Horticulture Tech, but you earn those en route to your AAS, right? So a lot of times people can see, hey, I've already earned a degree by taking the first semester or the first 2 semesters, and hopefully that kind of creates some momentum, obviously, but also helps our graduation rate when we can award a credential, and also helps our students if something were to happen. And certainly we don't want them to leave us. That's not our goal by doing this. But should something happen and they do have to stop out for a certain reason, at least they have something in their pocket there. When did this start? I guess this past summer semester. Our office took on Orientation 110 freshman seminar, so that's now housed in our office. I think it's been kind of an office of its own here in the past couple of years, but that is now housed in our area, and I think I've got a slide about it here in just a second. I'll talk more about that. We do the cohort review, so every fall semester, right, for IPEDS data tracking purposes, a new cohort of students begins. And each fall semester, we track the progression of first-time, full-time freshmen that begin in the fall semester, right? So what we're looking at is, are they receiving a credential in 150% of the time that they should. So basically they've got right at 3 years or so to complete a degree. And if so, that goes into our graduation rate. So as a side note, what that means is if somebody starts in the spring or somebody starts in the summer, even if they do graduate, even if they are successful, that doesn't really count in our graduation number, which again is unfair, but it's unfair at least across the country. But anyway, back to the kind of the cohort review. What we do is we go through each member of the cohort, each student, and make sure that they've had every degree or credential applied to their transcript, right? So we make sure, have they forgot something? Do they not realize that they've earned a credential? So our office, we kind of divide up all the students in that cohort. We go into degree works, we do the what ifs, we look at every possible nook and cranny for a way that we can award them a degree that has otherwise not been posted. And so we feel like that's been, along with other things, very helpful in increasing our graduation rate, which is really high. I think is it 30s or 40s? I'm drawing a blank now that I'm in public now, but it's much higher, 40s, thank you, much higher than the national average. A couple of years ago, I think I did an advising PD for you and kind of informed you that prerequisites had been turned off. I don't know that you were here for that. It's not important. But what I am bringing it up today is prerequisites are now back on. So we had some issues with some of our prerequisite checking for a little while. So it's now back on. It is working for the most part as it should be, which is a good thing in our eyes especially, and I know it is for faculty members as well. Athletic advising is really kind of its own animal in a sense. I mean, there's certain things that athletes have to do that non-athletes do not have to do as far as GPAs and hours and things like that. So we're staying current with eligibility criteria and things of that nature. In conjunction with Dr. Smith, we're working on a kind of a college-wide retention and completion plan that can be presented to the college that outlines our goals. These are our definitions of success. This is what we're targeting. This is what we're looking for, and that's in progress as well. And then Target X as well, which I'll talk about here in just a second. I do want to at least kind of point you to this as well if you didn't know about this. So we do have online appointment availability to meet with a success advisor, and we really encourage this. We're certainly not turning away walk-ins. Obviously, if somebody comes in, we're going to serve them. But we're really strongly encouraging appointments. We're really trying to get to appointment-only basis if that's possible. So there's going to be some growing pains with that. But if you can go to wildestate.edu/advising, you kind of see the menu bar across the top, which kind of, as an aside, we've got other information on there if you have questions about placement testing or Lions Pride. There's a really good FAQ page about advising. There, it used to be called the residual ACT. ACT changed terminology to where it's now called on-campus ACT testing. So if you can go to that website there, it'll give you the dates of the upcoming on-campus tests and the things that you need to know about that. But if you'll click on the advisor section, that'll bring up our whole staff there. You can find the advisor that you need to speak with, click schedule an appointment, and it'll take you to a page. This is an example of Hannah's page where a student can come in. They can click the day that they want to meet with an advisor. Once you click the day, then you'll be prompted to select the time. And then once you do that, you can choose the modality. So you can choose the on-campus, or you can choose the virtual options via Zoom. We're still having a pretty high number of virtual appointments. I don't see that going away, which is not a bad thing to me, truthfully, because students can't tell you how many people I've seen the roof of their vehicle, right? I mean, a lot of times they're in their car, they're on lunch. Sometimes they are driving, and the passenger side, the car is moving, but they're on the passenger side just going. So there is some flexibility to where we can kind of meet students where they are, and rather than having them come to our area. So if you do come in our office and you don't see somebody necessarily in our office, doesn't mean that we're not working with somebody. If we've usually got our headphones on, we're usually working with a student virtually. So those are still going well also. But if you would, again, just kind of direct students to schedule an appointment with us if you can. I mentioned orientation 110, just kind of want to give you a brief overview of what we're doing. We did change some things in the content and the curriculum. We kept some things the same, certainly, but there are some things that we changed. We try to really kind of divide it into 4 primary areas. You know, it was in the Center for Student Success, so we tried to kind of keep that success branding, if you will, and so we're kind of focused on those 4 areas: classroom, academic, personal, and workplace. And so certainly we're still doing some of the same things that they did previously. The grading structure has changed a little bit. Some other things have changed, so it's not a carbon copy of the old course, certainly, but we are trying to incorporate some things like study skills, habits, time management responsibilities. We'll talk about financial literacy. We talk about critical thinking and the danger of groupthink and things like that, developing those critical thinking skills. And then we kind of end up with a section on workplace success, to where you know, we certainly don't go super in depth with them, or as in depth as we would like to, but we do at least get them started on creating a resume. We do talk to them about the importance of their online presence, right? And whether we like it or not, we have an online presence, whether it's Facebook or Twitter or Instagram or whatever it is. Anything that we post can be seen and saved and to anyway, y'all know how that goes. But so we are trying to at least give them an understanding that what you do now matters whenever it does come to the workplace and things of that nature. We do go over some basic kind of interview skills. Certainly we're not doing any kind of mock interviews. Our setup is not set up to do that. But we are kind of giving them an assignment to where they have to come up with an elevator pitch, to where you kind of pitch yourself to a potential employer, and, you know, in a quick, really kind of snippet type situation, to where at least they're kind of getting a feel for what to expect as they go through the interview process. Because really, you know, whether or not they're transferring or not, whether they're done with us or not, you know, at some point in time, even if you go across the street for $15 an hour at McDonald's, right, you're going to have to go through an interview, right? So, you know, regardless of where the interview is, we feel like those things are convenient. So kind of moving into Target X a little bit. So Target X is it's a software that ACCS purchased. It's a system-wide CRM, which stands for Customer Relationship Management System. Every school in the community college system is on Target X, right? We're all on the same playing field. We all do this. And really, as you kind of see, I don't want to read to you, but in kind of the middle of the screen there, the goal is simple. This is to improve business relationships. That's kind of the business goal of a CRM, but as you kind of narrow it down into an educational field, we're trying to improve recruitment, retention, and our service to students. And I've been in some trainings with this past fall semester, and Jennifer has been in there, and Dr. Smith is on there, and I don't see Kristen or John, but anyway, one of the first things that they told us is that whether we like it or not, and whether we consider it or not, we are, and I say we as in student services, but we, and really everybody I suppose, but we are in the business of sales. I mean, we really are. And I don't like to look at it that way, honestly, but our students are our customers, and they have the ability to go literally anywhere in the country now with online, availability. And you just think of Coleman, if you just get a map out and draw a 100-mile radius circle, how many colleges would you include in that circle, right? I mean, our students are our customers, and we've got to do a better job of treating them as such. So the CRM is kind of the first step, as the system kind of views things from an enrollment management perspective of increasing that. And so, excuse me, you can see the companies there kind of in the middle of the screen: Toyota, T-Mobile, Amazon, Red Cross, Macy's, U.S. Bank. when you get an email from Belk, or you get an email from, I don't know where you shop, shoes.com or Zappos or what, Tractor Supply. If, I was on Lowe's last night and I put something in my cart, and I got there this morning and I had an email saying, hey, you left something behind in your cart, right? These companies are using these CRMs to further develop their customer base, right? And so again, that's kind of our goal. So there's really kind of at least two phases, there may be a third, but there's at least two phases to TargetX. The first phase is dealing with the recruitment and the admission side of TargetX. The second phase is really kind of going to be where I'm most excited about kind of going into the student success and the retention piece. So right now we're focusing mostly on recruiting and admissions with Jennifer's area and with John's area. TargetX gives you the ability to host events, to have students register for events, gives students a chance to inquire from our website, and once they do that, they're in our system and we can track them through the life cycle, so we can kind of use some data to evaluate the effectiveness of our campaigns, right? So, if John's going out to Russellville High School and he gets 2 inquiry forms, obviously we're going to keep going and working with Russellville, but if there's another college fair at East Limestone and we get 28 inquiries back on that, obviously we're going to prioritize to go to East Limestone over Russellville, right? So we can kind of use some data that this is going to create to help make better decisions, not only in recruiting, but also admissions. With admissions, Jennifer can speak much more about it than I can, but the admission application is changing. It's going to be now processed through TargetX, which sometimes when you start talking about change, it's a bad thing, but I think this is a really good thing. It's really kind of modernizing our application. Our application, I don't know if you've walked through it, but it's kind of antiquated in a sense. And so TargetX application will really help. Students can go in, they can create an account, they'll come up with a dashboard, they'll have the little wheel that shows them how, the percentage of completion of the application, and they can go back and they can start it again, and they can pick up where they left off, and we can send out push notifications to, hey, you're almost there, finish your application. So anyway, a lot of good stuff going on. They can upload their driver's license, they can upload their photo ID directly into TargetX. So if you're unfamiliar with that process, we've got to have a photo ID on file for students before they can take classes with us, and that actually has just changed. That policy has just changed. They can actually take, anyway, regardless, you still got to have the photo ID uploaded, and that's been kind of a process to where they either have to come in person or they're going to take a picture of it and email it in, and now all they got to do while they're doing their application is upload a picture of their driver's license, and it's done. It's super simple. The residency form is built into that as well. So they really are doing a great job streamlining that process as well. So yeah, Suzanne, go ahead. Yeah.
So is the admissions application will be a standard application across all the community colleges? Is there any customization for us at all?
Yeah, there is. So it's the same. I would compare. I don't know. When I have to share something unique about me is I've never had an iPhone. Although I think if Black Friday treats me right, I'm going to buy one. But anyway, on my Droid, my Droid and Jennifer's Droid, it's the same phone, but it looks differently. Like my apps are different, it's organized, my color scheme is different, but it's still the same phone, right? That's kind of the concept. So everybody's going to be on the TargetX application, but we can customize it how we want to. We can put our own questions on there, we can put our own logos, our own pictures, everything that we do can be customized to how we would like that. So Northwest Shoals is kind of the system-wide guinea pig for TargetX, and they, just kind of to speak to your question, they put a question in there that asked them, number one, if they were employed, and number two, where they were employed. And the reason for that is because they were explaining, Jennifer, that something with the Chamber of Commerce in the Florence area, they provide certain scholarships for employers or for students at certain employers. And so that was one of the things that they wanted to focus on to make sure they could target those students. So yes, it can be customized. We can put stuff in there that would help Rachel as far as maybe for trio recruitment. I mean, really anything. I mean, we can use it to our benefit for sure.
You're reading my mind, because for us, for grants, that's when we start writing for student support services.
Yep.
First generation economically disadvantaged is the first thing
Exactly.
That's
Yep.
the primary thing. But I do love the employed and where employed. So
Yep.
I would love to talk to you guys about.
Sure.
I know we don't want to be heavy on our own questions, but
Sure. Don't want it to be too long, obviously, but we want to get the data that we need.
Yes.
No doubt about that, and we can certainly work with that.
thank you.
Yeah, for sure. So events and emails are really the main two things that we're working on. Building in TargetX, we can send emails, hey, thank you for coming to a campus tour. Or if somebody inquires, hey, thank you for inquiring. I see that you want more information on our agriculture program. Here is some information here, and we can target, we can be specific, and we can give Jason a list of everybody who's inquired, interested in horticulture, or who's interested in nursing, or whomever. And so anyway, we can do a lot of good things with TargetX that I'm super excited about. And so with all of that being said, there's a quick video here. It's not going to load for me, so I'll click the link. But I kind of wanted to show you that goes over kind of the community college suite, which the system has purchased. So it's about 5 minutes. I think it'd be worth our time to.
At TargetX, we know that as a community college, you offer a uniquely different experience than that of other institutions. The TargetX Community College Suite helps community and technical colleges manage your students' journey from interest to application to student success. The students you cater to, ranging from degree seeking to certificate to guest students, expect a seamless experience as they transition into the college. TargetX offers a number of different tools to assist community colleges with their students in this transition. One of those tools has to do with data. We know that data issues within enrollment management have changed. They used to be how to get data, combing data through spreadsheets, and really relying on IT to build and execute those reports. Now, they're looking at mass amounts of data to get meaningful insights, accessing real-time information, and utilizing data to make data-driven decisions. Our TargetX Insights tool gives community colleges access to this real-time data with the ability to see your funnel, to filter your specific funnel by program or student type or owner, as well as to see point-in-time data to determine where in the funnel actions are needed. You also have access to track other types of dashboards, such as application data, see point-in-time data for those applications, and even the ability to drill down into event performance. At a community college, we know that events can tell you a lot about your prospect pool. With these event dashboards, we have the ability to track event outcomes and how each event may have influenced the different stages within your enrollment funnel. Knowing the ROI of an event can help you plan for the future, and the Insights tool gives colleges access to many different points of data and allows community colleges to share their story across campus. Now that we've seen how we can aggregate data and get access to this data real-time from the CRM, let's take a look at how we can capture that data from a student experience. All of our student-facing tools are designed to be completely mobile-first, meaning students can access any of these tools from a computer or a mobile phone. The Community College Suite includes a number of tools like forms, chat, and even a mobile app for students to interact with each other at any point in the life cycle. TargetX also offers an events tool that gives community colleges the ability to build and display events in a calendar or list format, as well as the ability to host events with capacity limits, wait lists, or even host events within events. We can also have automated communications sent to students when they register, have reminders sent to them, and even include QR codes for easier check-in. The Events tool also integrates with Zoom for any virtual meetings you may be hosting. Now that a student is registered for an event, we want to continue to make the student experience as easy and efficient as possible as they apply. We have a student portal that gives community colleges the ability to display personalized information based on attributes we know about students, where students can navigate to different tabs and even see different experiences through embedded videos or images within the portal that are specific to their interests or stage in the enrollment funnel. Students also have the ability to track applications and submit their applications through this portal. They can see application information like their percentage complete, as well as the average time left to complete that application. Our application is built to give students that seamless experience by eliminating the need to go page to page or to pinch and zoom on a mobile device. Within the application, students can see pre-populated data, upload documents, and staff can even create conditional content for different types of students. And on the back end, your staff can manage these applications through a drag and drop editor, and even display checklist items and decision letters to students as well. Now that the student has applied, they may want to interact with a staff member to register for courses. So as part of the Community College Suite, we offer a number of different tools to manage both pre-scheduled and walk-in appointments. The TargetX Engage tool allows you to set up different rooms or kiosks that students can sign into, be placed on a list, and get notified via text message when they are next in line or when an advisor is ready to meet with them. And we also offer tools for your staff to easily manage their interactions with students. Within the CRM, they can track things like recruitment scores based on engagements they have with students, and even track things like their relationships to organizations, like workforce development organizations or even schools. And within the CRM, we make communicating with your prospects easy. Everything is designed to be drag and drop and user-friendly. From the CRM, you can create and customize email campaigns, one-to-one or group text messages, telemarketing campaigns, as well as a variety of print letters. But not only can we communicate with prospects from the CRM, we can also communicate with current students. The TargetX Community College Suite offers you the ability to create and manage different types of student success scores and cohorts. You can use these scores to help determine which students may be at risk and report on these specific scores. You can also see details surrounding these scores to understand what's influencing them, and utilize our Student Success Center to get a clear picture of your at-risk students and proactively reach out to offer personalized assistance. The TargetX Community College Suite is designed to meet the unique needs of community colleges and technical schools across the student lifecycle. If you're ready to learn more, we'd be happy to introduce you to one of our knowledgeable product specialists who can give you a personalized demo of the Community College Suite and answer any questions you may have. At TargetX, we want to make the recruitment and retention process as easy and enjoyable as possible for you and for your students.
So 5 minutes is longer than I would prefer a video to go, but I think that kind of summed up much clearly and more plainly than I fumbled around with, kind of giving you an idea of what to expect with TargetX. I'll tell you this, so I know some of you that have been here a while, you know, we've tried some things, not a CRM before, but we've tried some software, we've tried to do some things in the past, and it just didn't grow, right, for various reasons, somewhat out of our control. I don't feel that way about TargetX, mainly because we have the backing of the system. Everybody across the system is on this. There's the ACCS has hired a CRM administrator whose only goal is to manage this project. I'm really excited about this and the change that it will drive. A little nervous about getting everything set up, to be honest with you. The more that I learn about it and the deeper that we get into that, but once it's all done, I'm super excited about the potential that it provides. So, any questions about TargetX or about any of the slides that we went through previously? Yes, ma'am, sure.
Sorry,
No.
I know I'll talk to you about some of this other later, but so when do we actually launch for TargetX for us?
Yeah, so the recruitment retention phase 1 is scheduled to go live. I think it's January 14th. Is what, as far as the retention piece to that's going to be later in the summer of 22.
And who will have access to TargetX? As far as, and my question is really about, you were talking about you could send Jason a list of students through him. Would he have access to, he could go in and generate an email from that list? Or would that be
I don't know yet.
different? Okay.
I'll find out and let you know.
Okay.
I don't know yet. I hope everybody gets access. There's some things that I think they're working out at the system office with licensure and things like that. So we're scheduled to go down there December the 7th, and I'll ask that question specifically, kind of long term for sure.
Okay. It looks great. I mean, it's something that
Yeah.
I feel like we've needed here for a long time, and it seems like the other pieces we've looked at, like Civitas, it was really only could be used for one group. It didn't. Not everybody can use it, and for me, I see this as being able to be used across the campus. And I know Dr. Carlix has mentioned to me about the advancement of the alumni component. So as we kind of move through the student life cycle, there are things that I see we could use through the alumni graduate side that we could pull those students over into our database for that we use, but it's not there's too many things about that. Yes, everybody's an alumni, but our database really focuses more on donors. So if you're an alumni member, TargetX allows us to reach out to alumni
And that's the whole goal.
I think.
The whole goal is to track college-age Suzanne Harbin from when she inquires and fills out the inquiry form, to applies, to registers, to progresses through, to graduates, to enters the workforce, is to get the whole picture of that student. So as far as permissions and things, I'll get back with you on
That's
that
awesome.
for sure. Yeah. Any other questions? All right, so I've got a few more minutes left. I made a Kahoot. Do you guys like the Kahoot? I think it's fun to Kahoot. So let's Kahoot a little while. Do you mind? If you've never played before, it's really easy. You will go to kahoot.it and you'll enter the pin here on the screen. I like the music, so I'm gonna turn it up a little bit. Kahoot.it is where you'll go. Kahoot.it, and once you get there, you'll enter the pin on the screen there. I've got prizes for the winner, so if you want to sign up, I think it'd be fun. It's not Jeopardy, Jennifer, but do what you can. All right, anybody still trying to get in? Anybody need some more time? I'll give you some more time. Going once. All right, let's get going. If you haven't played before, there'll be a question on the screen, and you'll use your phone to select your answer. Okay, so here's your first question. Five seconds. Very good. We do encourage you to make an appointment. If you want to talk to them about their investment portfolio, that's fine. I don't think we have an alma mater here that we've seen that I'm aware of, but again, we do ask that they do make an appointment if possible. Certainly, we still help them with a walk-in. It may take them a little bit of time, or it may take us a little bit of time to get to them since we are working with appointments, but do please direct them that way. LW.
Total sidebar, but apparently
Yeah.
we do have a online.
We do.
Somebody did one some time ago.
With words and music and.
I got a question about that, so if anybody on the online or here knows it,
Okay.
let us know, because we could never find it, but we hear there is one.
We hear there is.
I don't know. Just saying.
Okay. It's good to know. True or false? You got two choices. Yeah, so we can use a multitude of things, really. We can use up to 3 things when we determine high school, or when we determine placement in math and English. First thing we look at is an ACT. Basically, if they can get a 17 or higher in math, 17 or higher in English, they're exempt from placement test at that point. So 17 is kind of that magic ACT number. If they don't have that, then yes, we can go to their high school grade point average. If it's a 275 or higher, then we can look at their grade in Algebra 2 or 12th grade English, and we can determine placement off of that. But if that yet still doesn't work, then we would move on to the placement test, and we could get them placed in math and English that way. But we can use their high school GPA. Oh, Rachel, taking over. All right. Question 3. Yeah, 162 an hour is the tuition rate currently. It was the same this semester or this school year as it was last school year. There was a tuition freeze, thankfully, but 162 an hour. I remember it was $90 an hour, I think, when I was here a couple of years back, and so it's increased a little bit since then, but still much more affordable than our four-year partners, for sure. Jeb, who's Jeb? I don't know Jeb. Oh, hey, Jeb. Congratulations, Jeb. All right, question 4. This is a trick question. So the reason this is a trick question is because math and English is different, right? So just kind of backing up a little bit, right? You've got kind of our baseline math and English is Math 98 and E&RO 98, right? Those are kind of our first remedial classes. After students pass the respective 98, for English 98, they go straight into English 101. They do not need the 99 co-requisite. For math, however, they do have to go into the 99 co-req 100 class. So it's a little bit tricky for our office as well to keep it straight, but once you do pass 98, you do move into the co-req math class there.
I have a question.
Yeah.
So if they take 98 and then redo their AccuPlacer, can they place directly?
Sure.
to 100?
Yep, absolutely. It's no problem, absolutely. Susan knew that one looks like. Amber's on fire, it seems like. All right, question 5. Twelve is the answer. So bankruptcy, if you're unfamiliar with bankruptcy, academic bankruptcy wipes out the GPA and the grades from an entire semester, right? So if a student comes to you and they had a really rough semester, one semester, maybe they had 4 Fs and a C, right? If you want to do bankruptcy, it'll take all the Fs out of their GPA. It also takes the C, right? You can't pick and choose the ones that you keep. It takes out the entire classes for that semester. And let's say that happened in a fall semester, right? They want to bankrupt the fall semester. They can't file for bankruptcy in December. Okay, it's not an instant thing. They have to pass 12 hours, which is what this question refers to. Once they pass 12 hours since the semester that they want to bankrupt, then at that point they can fill out a form and Jennifer can bankrupt the GPA for that semester. It does still show up on the transcript, I understand, but it does have that they did file academic bankruptcy, but the main thing is that it does increase a student's grade point average there. Okay, Amber's in the lead. Got a comfortable, what is that, 500-point lead? All right, question 6. Live footage from the Vatican, by the way. Yeah, that's correct. So course forgiveness, sometimes it's called course repeat. That differs from academic bankruptcy in that you're just doing it for maybe a single class, all right? So if a student makes a bad grade in one class, this current semester, this fall semester, they can retake it in the spring. Once they've retaken that course in the spring and the grade is final, they can fill out a form to do course forgiveness or course repeat. And the first grade will go out of their grade point average and they'll use the second grade in that situation. So after the course is repeated is the correct answer. All right, Amber's still in the lead. Let's go to question 7. AJ, you should know this one. Just get here when you can, by the way. So again, as a general rule, again, we're speaking generically, kind of a good rule of thumb to follow is they got to maintain at least a 2.0 grade point average and they have to pass 12 hours each semester. Kind of our approach with our athletes is to enroll them in more than 12 hours a semester, right? Because if they're just in 12 and they need to drop a class or withdraw from a class, or if worst comes to worst and they fail the class, then they're under the 12-hour requirement and then they've jeopardized eligibility and it becomes a big mess. So what we typically try to do is put them in at least 15 to 16 hours each semester. That kind of gives them some wiggle room, so to speak. Again, that can change based on how long they've been here and that sort of thing, but as a general rule, you can remember 2.0 and 12 hours a semester for athletic eligibility. Suzanne, coming up. All right. Let's see. Question 8. Do you know your electives? So yes, ethics in society is not a behavioral science. Ethics in society is considered as a humanities, right? So when we talk about behavioral sciences, we're talking about economics, both micro and macro. We're talking about government, we're talking about geography, we're talking about history, we're talking about psychology, sociology, things like that are your behavioral sciences. Your humanities are going to be things like ethics or philosophy or music or art or theater or dance or humanities or religion and things of that nature. So important distinction there, because typically students do need to have at least one of both of those, both humanities and behavioral sciences there. All right, question number 9, almost done. Well, that was fast. Yep, 2020 is the correct answer. That changed. I don't know how long ago it's been. It used to be 1 year previous, then they changed it to 2 years previous, I think 3 or 4 years ago. So they go back basically 2 years from the fall semester that you need it for. And that's open now. So you can tell your students now that the fall 2022 FAFSA is now open. It all opens every October. So obviously students should already have their 2020 tax returns and information, so they can actually go ahead and fill out the FAFSA. One FAFSA covers one academic year, right? It covers a fall, spring, and a summer. And then after that, you have to file a new FAFSA for every fall semester. Well, there you are again. All right, 1,000 points, Amber. Hope you can hold on to it. Number 10. Yeah, so 24 hours is not a requirement. So obviously financial aid is given to us from the federal government, right? And so the federal government tells institutions that receive aid that students have to follow certain rules. And so when we talk about satisfactory academic progress, or SAP, there's 3 primary standards that students have to meet. First is they have to pass 2/3 of the classes they attend, right? So anytime they withdraw from a class or fail from a class, that's going to bring down that completion percentage. The second one is that you do have to maintain a GPA over 2.0. That can vary based on how many classes you've attempted or hours you've attempted, but just as a general rule, we'll say GPA over 2.0. And then the one that's kind of hard to understand when you read it is to graduate within 150% of the time. Basically what that means is if a degree is 60 hours, if that's what the prescribed degree requirement is, 60 hours, we both basically multiply 60 by 1.5, which is 150%. And that gives you 90 hours. So financial aid will give you 90 hours to finish your 60-hour degree. So whatever your total credit is for your degree, just multiply that by 1.5, and that's the amount of financial aid that you would receive to earn that degree. Okay. Question 11. Is it getting too long for you? Cut it down to 5 questions maybe next time. Yeah, very good. June the 1st is the deadline. I think, and don't hold me to this, I think it's for every health program except for nursing. Of course, nursing is November the 15th. May the 15th. They also have a September 1 deadline for spring entry. So nursing is May 15 for fall, September 1 for spring. All the other health programs, I'm quite sure is June 1 is a deadline. Susan, some of them will take later, I know, than June 1. Am I missing some? Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's
EMS, EMT accepts every semester.
every semester for EMS and EMT. So that one's changed a little bit, but the majority, kind of June 1, if you can remember that, is kind of a good rule of thumb, except for nursing, is when to submit applications to our healthcare programs there. All right. 2 more questions to go. So only time that someone is exempt from taking orientation is if they were here before fall of '04, or if they've transferred in 12 hours from another college. Now, when I say transferred in, that doesn't mean that they took, so they can take however many hours they want to at Shelton, right? But they've got to be transferable hours that the registrar approves as incoming transfer, right? So if they do have at least 12 or more hours, or if they were before fall of '04, they are exempt. Being dual enrollment, being fast track, you still do need to take orientation in order to graduate. All right, this is for all the marbles here. Is it Savannah, is that you? Amber, Savannah, Rachel, is that right?
I put my initials in it.
Oh, sorry, I gave you away. My bad. All right, well, there's what, 250 points there between the two of you, so quick on the draw here. Okay, so let's talk about that just a little bit. So Complete College America has done research, and it makes a lot of sense. Sometimes you'll hear the phrase 15 to finish, where the suggestion is for students to take 15 hours a semester to finish on time. I tend to lean more towards the 30 in an academic year. That seems to be more achievable for some of our part-time students, right? If you can take 3 semesters of 10 hours, you can get the same outcome as 2 semesters of 15 in that situation. 12, kind of where the 24 comes in. If you take 12 hours, that's good for financial aid purposes. You are full-time at that situation. But if you think about a typical 4-year degree, right? Typically that's going to require 120 or so hours. If you divide that by 2, that gives you 60 hours. So we're talking about 60 hours that really need to be done at the community college level. So if you take 12 hours a semester, and let's say you take the summers off, how many semesters is that going to take you to finish, right? That's 5 semesters that you're looking at. So if you just do your 12 each semester, you're not really going to finish in that kind of traditional 4-year time frame. So, which again, it may be okay based on the student, but should the student have the ability and the bandwidth, we certainly suggest that they complete 30 hours in one academic year. 15 to finish is fine. If they want to do 15 in a semester, that's fine, but at least 30 per academic year. All right, you finished, so let's see who ended up winning the bronze medal, whoever this is. I don't know who SW is, but she finished 3rd. Rachel is the silver medalist in the spotlight. The gold medalist is Amber R, so congratulations. You all passed the test. I guess you did. I don't know. I don't see the results of everybody else, but you 3 did great, so congratulations. I got a t-shirt for you here once we conclude today. So that's all I've got. That's the final activity for my PD today. Thank you for coming. I'm happy to stay around and answer any questions that you guys may have, or if you want to ask them now, that's fine as well. If not, I'll stick around a little while longer. Hope you guys have a happy Thanksgiving. I understand there's some food on 11 or 12. Food on second. Bring your own plate.
About 11:30, bring BYOP, bring
Okay.
your own plate.
All right.
I need you to warm it up in your area. I'm not going to be in charge of eating all
So
day.
30-minute warning to go to Dollar General and get you a plate.
That's
You
right.
bring it over.
I may have a
Good.
spare down there in case you don't have one.
Yeah, have a good day, guys. Thanks for coming
Thank you,
today.
Whit.
Yeah,
Great
you're
job.
welcome.